Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, joins us now. So good morning to you, Congressman. We're awaiting Yovanovitch on Capitol Hill. Do you expect that she shows?
Well, this is a little bit of like playing whack-a-mole. So we never know when the witnesses are actually going to show up. But we're prepared. And as you had in your report, we have a lot of concerns about this witness. It was well known. We've had several both former U.S. officials and current U.S. officials come to us and tell us that this was a very partisan ambassador. This is somebody that was not just supporting the Clintons when Clinton was running, telling the Ukrainians that Clinton was going to win, prognosticating about it, but also once Trump won, was bad-mouthing the Trump administration in Ukraine to Ukrainians and State Department staff. So she's got a lot to answer for. We're looking forward to questioning her this morning.
Okay, so I have two questions. What will she share about all this? Because she was in the middle of a lot of it, it would appear. And why aren't you there?
Yeah, well, let's start with the second question. Why am I not there? Because we didn't know that if she was going to actually show up or not. We still don't know if she's actually going to show up or not. So what we're doing, because it's this, there is no format for this process. This is like a faux investigation, all right? So we never know when witnesses are going to be there. There's 3 committees involved. And so what we're doing is we're taking the members that are closer to Washington so they can get there faster. Of course, I'm all the way over on the West Coast. So, you know, we just don't know how many of these witnesses are going to come forward. And this is not a real process. I think this is...
What is the question that you would want her to answer?
Well, our lawyers are all prepared, and the members who we're all prepared. We've been talking over the last few days preparing for this witness. And so we'll want to get her on the record of, you know, did she support the Trump administration? Did she really say these negative things about the Trump administration? Was she looking at journalists? Was she monitoring journalists in the United States? These are all questions that we want answers to. And you got to remember, I want everybody to understand, this is they're trying to use this for impeachment, okay? Even in the Russia hoax, okay, the investigation that I had to run, we gave the Democrats every single witness that they wanted, every single one. In this case, they're not giving Republicans any witness. We don't even know the rules. We don't even know if the witness is going to show up or not show up. I'm trying to think of something worse than circus. Maybe it's just like a chaotic circus.
Well, we've heard a lot from your party questioning the process by which Democrats are trying to impeach the president. Do you expect the House to take up a vote on this?
I do. I don't see this as a real impeachment. But let's just try to go back, because a lot of people are saying, well, you know, people don't know. They're hearing bad things in the press. They're hearing things about Trump and Ukraine. What is this all about? I always go back to the beginning. The Russia hoax originated in Ukraine from Democrats, the Democratic National Committee, and the Clinton campaign, who paid for dirt from Ukrainians and Russians, okay? That's the very thing that they're accusing Trump of doing. So remember, Donald Trump's under investigation because the Democrats got information from foreigners, fed it to the FBI, where they opened up an active investigation. So I just dismiss outright that there's any problem about President Trump or his personal attorney. He's being investigated by the FBI because of the Democrats. If he's over in Ukraine saying, hey, what's going on here? What's this dirt? Where did this come from? He has every right to do that. Remember, they said that they had more than circumstantial evidence of Trump colluding with Russians. You know, where are the Russians? The only Russians and Ukrainians that we know of are the ones that were working directly with the Democrats. And so I just reject this whole thing. They're trying to speed to impeachment is what they're trying to do here. And they're not running a traditional impeachment.
I apologize for stepping over you. Bring it back to today's witness. Why would the White House block others from being interviewed and allow this former ambassador to do that, knowing that she's still an employee of the State Department, the U.S. government?
Well, My guess here is this is somebody that the Democrats have been coordinating with. Okay, let's not pretend that this ambassador hasn't been working with the Democrats. Okay, that's been happening. She is a Democrat. She's a partisan. It's well documented. Okay, so that's why what's being reported this morning in some circles is that the Democrats issued a soft subpoena. Okay, well, that's because she wants to be able to tell the State Department, hey, I'm going to go ahead and listen to the subpoena. So the Trump administration, what they've said in that long letter that the White House counsel put out that said, look, if you're running an impeachment investigation, we're not going to participate in this nonsense, okay, unless you're going to actually vote, have the House vote to actually have a real inquiry. But what's happening is that some partisan bureaucrats and former Obama people and Trump people are going to testify because they're working behind the scenes with the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee.
But the question is, why did the White House not stop this witness?
Well, my guess is that there's some legal reason why this witness wanted this. What I don't even know what a soft subpoena is, but wanted a subpoena. Or no, I think they called it a friendly subpoena, because I assume there's some legal way that if she's subpoenaed in some different way, she can come testify, because she wants to come and testify. This is part of their rollout. Look, they're going to leak all this out. By tonight, I promise you, every mainstream media is going to have bombshell after bombshell that came out today in the hearing about how bad Trump was and how bad Giuliani was and how bad this career 30-year diplomat had all these concerns about the Trump administration and the president, Rudy Giuliani. That's what you're going to see about 12 hours from now on every single channel and newspaper across this country. Why? Because the mainstream media has been in on this from the beginning. They're trying to overturn the 2016 election. And we can go on and on. I can take the whole show. But
okay, well, let's move to the whistleblower issue here in the final minute we have. Here's the former acting AG, Matthew Whitaker, on whether or not there's anonymity necessary in this case here. He said this.
No, you're not. You're guaranteed that you can't be retaliated against, and that's the whole idea of the whistleblower statute. But there is no reason, and I think the idea that this person wouldn't be safe, I think is sort of ridiculous. I mean, this person is making a huge allegation against the President of the United States on derivative information from a phone call. We've already seen the evidence, and I think they should have to testify and stand in front of the American people, and most importantly, the Congress, and answer these questions.
Let's see if it comes to that. The reason we bring that up, there's some reporting today suggesting the whistleblower wants to testify with written answers. Would that ever fly in an impeachment inquiry in the United States Congress?
It doesn't fly to be a whistleblower, okay? To just sit. The whistleblower already submitted his or her testimony, and it was false. Okay, because the whistleblower did not say on the form that he had actually come to Congress before. So the only people that don't know who the whistleblower are the Republicans on the committee and most Americans. All the mainstream media, they know the whistleblower. I mean, for God's sakes, the New York Times basically identified the whistleblower because they gave all the clues that you would need in order to track who the whistleblower was. So the idea that we're hiding this, that this whistleblower needs to stay in hiding for his or her protection is asinine. Nobody believes that. It's not true. If you're going to be protected, the whistleblower, and I want to make sure whistleblowers are protected, okay? But you can't just hide. You can't go to the Democrats on the committee and then later, I mean, look, a week ago they were saying that the reason that the whistleblower couldn't come forward is because Republicans were going to out the whistleblower. This is already after the New York Times outed the whistleblower. So I'm not really believing much of what the whistleblower is saying, but I can tell you this. The whistleblower has the right to come forward, but they're going to come forward in person and testify and answer all the questions like, when did you begin to coordinate with the Democrats? And that's where we'll start.
We've also seen and heard a lot from Adam Schiff, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, and Mark Meadows, the congressman, has made it very clear that in the House Freedom Caucus, we spoke to Meadows yesterday, the House Freedom Caucus has said that Adam Schiff should be removed from leading this investigation. Is he capable of conducting a fair investigation, Congressman?
Well, I would start with what I was kind of getting to earlier. This is a faux investigation. This is a fake investigation. weaponized the House Intelligence Committee, which is supposed to be overlooking the 17 agencies, and they've turned it into this fake impeachment committee, okay, where they're keeping everything from the American people. Everything's being done in the skiff. Everything's being done behind closed doors. Nancy Pelosi controls all the people on this committee. We can't talk about supposedly what happens behind closed doors. So I just reject that premise. So what Adam Schiff and the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee should do is actually lead the committee in investigating what we actually should be looking at, which is overseeing our nation's military intelligence and domestic and our civilian intelligence programs, right? Like we have a lot of agencies we're supposed to be overseeing.
We can now confirm that she has arrived, so that leads us to believe that this interview, as planned, will happen. And
she being Marie Yovanovitch, she is the former ambassador to Ukraine. There was big questions, Congressman. We asked you, was she still expected to arrive? And here she is, walking through the door. She'll go through security, and she will now enter for her planned transcribed interview before members of Congress. Congressman, if you want to jump in here as we watch her arrive on Capitol Hill.
Well, yeah, and I think what you're going to see here is this is all for show, right? This is part of the show trial. It's, you know, is she going to come? Is she not going to come? Okay, and that really harms us because we can't get all of our members from all over the country back to question the witness. Now, we're going to have really good members there. Mark Meadows is going to be there. Jim Jordan's going to be there. Scott Perry's going to be there. So we're going to be ready to ask her the questions. But I will just tell you, you mark my words, there will be leaks within the next few hours where she's going to have bombshells. And by tonight on the news, there's going to be all the little sound bites that she's been working on and planning and coordinating. They'll be reported on here this evening. And this is all to drive and build the narrative towards impeachment.
Yovanovitch was born in Canada. She's fluent in Russian. She was recalled from her post in Kiev, Ukraine in the month of May. Still a government employee, as we mentioned there, member of the U.S. State Department. And so just as we wait for her to round the corner and appear here, these interviews have lasted almost an entire day thus far. Some of them have stretched 8, 9 hours. You've been inside for a lot of these interviews. How much is productive if you're spending 9 hours on a singular topic? Or is it a reverse? Is it a fact of discovery, actually, that would extend the length of time that you need to take to get the answers that will satisfy both sides?
So that's a great question. So the answer is that it doesn't take much more than usually within a couple hours. You may need to go as much as 4 hours, okay? But what we've seen from the Democrats, both in the Russia hoax investigation and now their extension of that investigation with these witnesses that they're calling in, when the witness doesn't give them what they wanted, okay? So, i.e. Volker, right? So what happened last week when Ambassador Volker, the special envoy to Ukraine, came in? Okay, this was going to be the bombshell of bombshells. He was going to give up all the dirt. Well, he came in, and within the first 30, 40 minutes, he didn't give them what they wanted, okay? So then what they did, so we had asked our questions, and then they stretched it out. I think it was reported as 9. When we actually when we actually looked at it, it was 10 hours. Okay, so then what they did is they started to go over and over and over and try to trap the witness, Ambassador Volker, into a perjury trap. Okay, to where tried to get him to go back on what he had said before. So they were asking the same questions over and over. If you go back and look at the transcripts, I think of the 10 hours, I think Republicans maybe only took about 2 hours of that time.
Hey, Congressman,
and so the rest of the time was trying to capture somebody in a perjury trap.
All right, we've only got a minute left here, so we're watching this live shot on Capitol Hill here. We saw Marie Yovanovitch enter the building a short time ago. Our expectation was she would walk down this hallway. She could have entered the room in a different way or a different entrance. We'll still keep watching that. But meanwhile, just going back to the question we were asking you initially, knowing that the White House said that they were not going to comply with any of the Democrats' what they called unconstitutional proceedings, and we saw the blocking of Sondland's testimony earlier in the week. I guess there's just still some confusion why, and we are seeing her again, the witness is entering here. Why did the White House not block this interview?
Well, my guess is that they gave that direction. Okay, and I'm only going off of historically what I know how this process works. I don't know about today's exactly why it's going down this way. But I'm guessing is that the White House told everybody that, hey, if you work for us, we're not going to support you going in. I'm guessing that's why they gave this so-called friendly subpoena, because this witness has been working with the Democrats. So they gave her what they're calling a friendly subpoena. And so then she's using some legal maneuver so that she can come and testify. Because believe me, she wants to come and testify. She wants to be out there in front. She wants to be part of the show trial. So, and I think the same thing.
So did Sondland, too, by the way.
So now you're going to start to see people.
Yeah. All right, we're going to keep watching this, Congressman. Sorry, we're up against a commercial break here. We appreciate your time this morning and staying through the breaking news.
Thank you, sir. Devin Nunes out of California there. We'll see what we get here in a moment. All right.